Well, every so often something comes along that piques my interest in terms of kit, and I thought this looked quite intriguing. Well, it's a chunky beast. Yep, so there you go, an RCB electric scooter, 500 watts, model D7. Quite a sexy looking beast. It's got one of the thickest looking manuals I've ever seen in my life. There must be 10 million languages in there, or it's an extremely complex bit of kit. Nice set of spanners and Allen keys, and that looks to be the battery charger. Packaging to come off. Nice. Loving the discs. Rear suspension. It's kind of raised off the ground. It's sort of like an off-road kind of scooter, which is what really appealed to me. Come out. There we go. So check out the finally assembled scooter. What a cool looking bit of kit, I have to say. Okay, let's take this apart for transport. Let's get this in the car and take it for a spin. So I've just stopped again after about 2 miles. I'll show you the view. Just nice looking down over the loch here. And yeah, it's effortless. That's yeah, it's 2 miles I've done. 15.5 mile an hour max. I'm in the middle gear at the moment. And I use turbo. I've noticed as you hit an incline, even the middle gear, it slows down a hell of a lot. So I think you need turbo on any kind of slope, to be honest. But it's actually a lot of fun. One thing I've noticed is I maybe a wee bit tense my calf. It's just seizing up at the back there, but I think I'm just a bit overly tense hanging on to it. But yeah, it's a bit of a sheep in wool's clothing. I think it's really cool looking. But actually it belies its performance is very muted really, which is probably restricted for the UK market, to be honest. But yeah, I still think it's a great looking machine. So a big thank you to RCB for sending me out the D7. It's really nice, and it's nice just to be running battery power in the middle of a wind farm. It seems kind of apt. Just arrived at my first obstacle here. I just thought, cattle grid, are these actually wider than the wheels, which are not big? I mean, check out the wheels there, they're tiny. And then the cattle grid, so I think we'll push across here just to make sure we're all right. I think it retails about £600 to £700, so it's not cheap, but it is a lot of fun, and it's just an amazing looking bit of kit, which is why I wanted to try it. They did offer it to me free of charge, so I should disclose that. But I was actually looking around for something like this to possibly do a couple of short kind of off-road commutes in, and then a wee wild camp, or possibly even to use in conjunction with my pack raft, so I could do a section of canal tire myself out over 15 miles or whatever and then ride back with this, having had it attached to the pack raft, and I think it'll do really, really well. First impressions, I've probably done about 3 or 4 miles, all pretty much off-road with a wee bit of tarmac at the start. It's actually quite docile. I almost feel it's not underpowered, but it's very friendly, so I wouldn't be scared of the power in it. You see all these great clips of people wheeling them and all the rest of it. Apart from turbo mode, I think you'd struggle to really do that much on it or to get a wheelie out of it. But I do love the style of it. I think it's a cracking bit of industrial design. It's very, very heavy. I'll put the weight on the screen, but the good thing about the weight is it's all down here, which makes it a very stable platform to stand on as a scooter. The only thing I would say, it's got front and rear suspension on here and front and rear disc brakes, which are cable operated. It has lights, it has a tail light, and it also has indicators, believe it or not, on either side, and they bleep. One thing I should mention was, when I first built it yesterday, I thought it wasn't working. Turned the throttle, nothing was happening. And it was my fault. I should have read the manual more carefully. You have to push off manually and then turn the throttle when you jump on board and it starts working. But I'll show you the light here. This should come on, there you go. And it also lights up the decals on the side of the body, which is really nice. So it's lit up along here, it's lit up along there. And then on top of that, you've got the indicators, which, as well as flashing down here, front and rear, you also get an audible bleep, and then you can cancel it. So coming up to this high point, this is the highest point in Whiteley Wind Farm, or at least it's one of the highest viewpoints. But you definitely, I would say, need turbo mode, which is the third setting, to climb hills on it, which it'll do no bother. It didn't seem to break traction or anything on the rear wheel. The wheels, I believe, are, although they're nice and soft and have an off-road tread, they're not pneumatic, so they won't blow on you, they won't burst, which actually is really good, because I hate it when I get a puncture in the middle of nowhere. The front telescopic tube here is adjustable with these clips, a wee bit like walking poles. You just clip that and then you can slide it in and out. And as you saw earlier on, it all folds together and can be put away in your boot. But it is a heavy beast. I think it's heavier than my electric bikes. It's also got a wee side stand, as you can see here, so it's sitting on the side stand at the moment. I've never ridden a scooter. I found it really easy to deal with. Absolutely no problems at all. The worst thing out here tonight has been the midges, and they're biting like hell just now, so I'm going to come back to you later once we get further down the trail. It does give you a nice view of Arran from up here. And I'm looking kind of northwest up towards Ben Lomond and the Archer Alps over that way. Ben Lomond on your left. Right, these midges are horrendous. I need to get out of here. Didn't bring any spray. Oh, that's not good. Yeah, you don't want to be going across. Yeah, don't do cattle grids. It's worth mentioning the brakes are very severe. They're kind of either on or off. I think they need a wee bit of braking in. However, I'd rather they were very strong and stop the bike, stop the scooter. You stop it, no bother at all, and away we go again. I'll try locking up the back brake and see what happens. Even that just pulls it to a halt pretty well. Let's try both brakes. Yeah, pretty damn good. So we're in third gear at the moment, turbo mode. You'll see it just bottoms out or just stops pulling at about 15.5 miles an hour, which is the legal limit. However, the elephant in the room is this is not actually allowed legally on the road in the UK where we are at the moment, which is a real shame because it's absolutely fantastic. It's quiet, it's easy to ride, it soaks up bumps nicely with the double shocks, and yeah, it's just really friendly. I've actually really enjoyed it. I mean, I know I've been giving it, and you may not believe me on that one, but genuinely I've had a blast in the last 5 or 6 miles. Anyway, we're nearly back at the car, as you can see ahead of me here, and I'll give you my closing thoughts in a minute. Excellent. 5 or 6 miles there, literally a blast. Partly tarmac on the first mile and then mostly off-road gravel. The small wheels, it doesn't really like chunky stones, but big bumps and the like, and the suspension takes that no bother, and avoid cattle grids and the like. Brakes are a wee bit severe, and you always have to have two hands on the steering on the bars because it becomes very unstable with only one. So just something to think about in terms of safety. Obviously wear a helmet. It does suggest wear pads and the like, but I don't have any. However, no mishaps at all. I found it just a very friendly little bike to use. Before the midges bite me to death, I'm going to get this back in the car, and thank you for watching this initial impression. I'll use it again for a wee overnight trip. I really quite fancy using that actually, and I can just pop the pack on my back and ride straight into the camp. So I've got a wee area in mind for that one. So yeah, RCB, loved it, really did. Thank God it packs down quickly because the midges are unbelievable. Right, let's get out of here.